Hello, Twin Flames. I hope you guys have a wonderful day so far. This is Dagmar, the spiritual healer. And today is actually 4th of July. So I want to wish you guys a wonderful, beautiful 4th of July. And I did turn off the live chat for this video because I'm trying to record actually an informational type video for you guys. And so you're welcome to leave your comments at the end of the live stream and let me know what you think or any questions you might have. Be happy to answer them. And if you are for the first time in this in my channel, welcome. And also click on subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and on the bell button so that you get notified every time I put out a video. And also, if you like this particular video, I would appreciate if you hit the like button. Or like I said, left many comments about your thoughts. So anyway, today I want to talk to you about connecting with your true love. And how many of us are out there in our twin flame journey just wanting to really connect with our twin flame, right? Well, I was there once too. It's been a few years now. And as a result of that, I actually wrote a beautiful poem as I truly connected with my true love, that I want to read to you. And then I want to also talk to you about, aligning with your soul and, what causes us to basically disconnect or feel disconnected. And then and what is our true self really? And then how do we connect? How do we connect back with ourselves? And so I'm going to start out with this beautiful poem. It's actually part of my book called Meeting My Twin Flame, which you can find on my website at thespiritualhealer.info. And it is on my YouTube channel. You can just click on it at the upper right-hand corner of the picture. And the poem itself is called Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places, Dear Spirit of Mine. And it was at that precise time when I wrote it that I actually reconnected with my true love. And the poem was very much written from what I was getting message-wise from my spirit, from my higher self. And so here it goes. I know that all you guys want to connect. It's all about the connection. So here goes my poem. So looking for love in all the wrong places, dear spirit of mine. I searched the world. I searched for years to find my guy. The one and only love of mine, like you, dear spirit of mine, unconditionally and always with the best for me in mind. I looked for the guy who'd be my knight in shining armor, my hero, my dragon slayer, who'd protect me come rain or shine, like you, dear spirit of mine. I looked across the ocean miles, I looked everywhere for the guy whom I could count on, trust, and who would care. I even searched the darkest of places to find him, the one and only love of mine. Surely I thought he must be there somewhere, hidden in the dark of the darkest of corners, since I couldn't find him in the bright of shine. I searched everywhere for the guy who'd love me, like you, dear spirit of mine. It was you I trusted, and I knew you'd help me find my guy. I was growing desperate to find the guy who'd love me, like you, dear spirit of mine. I finally asked you for help, and you agreed to help me find that guy. You promised, and I still could not see the love that only you had for me. It was then that you made me look in the darkest of hearts, and I finally saw that which there was not, the love I'd been looking for. Without it, I was lost, so for the longest time, I wouldn't dare see it not. You had me again, searching the darkest of hearts so that I could finally see what there was not. It was in the reflection of an empty heart that I finally saw the substance in mine. I had to see first what there was not in order to see what there was within me, my spirit, within me. It was then that I realized it was you I'd been looking for all this time, dear spirit of mine. You were the one who loved me. You were my guy. You were my knight in shining armor, my hero, my protector, came rain or shine. You were the one who loved me unconditionally all this time. It was you I counted on and trusted, dear spirit of mine, especially in my weakest of moments, You were the one who always cared and had my best interest in mind. I was looking for love in all the wrong hearts when all along you were inside of mine. You, dear spirit, you were the true essence of me I so desperately needed to find. So there you go. This is a poem I wrote as I connected with my true love. And my true love really was me. It was my essence. It was my true self. And, it's so interesting because we talk about our twin flame. Your twin flame is yourself, is your soul. So as we're trying to connect with our true self, we're really trying to connect with our twin flame, but it is ourselves we're trying to connect. And that's what my twin flame helped me do back then, is he helped me reconnect with who I really was, with me, with my essence, as I was trying to connect with him, as I was looking everywhere else for the love that, I desperately wanted, needed. And it was really all inside of me. It was my spirit that loved me so dearly, that like no other, your higher self, your spirit will love you like no other. And it's beautiful when you can come to that realization that it's all about you, that is really about connecting with your true self, with your spirit, with your higher self and who you are in essence, And so let's talk a little bit about, how or why connect with our true self? What is our true self? What does that mean? Well, our true self is really the essence of who we are, without the unresolved clutter, let's say, that's in our soul, without the limiting beliefs that we carry about ourselves, without the chains of the unresolved pain that we carry, without the structure, the box we created for ourselves that's limiting as to our personality and how we respond to life. It's the true essence that's beyond all that. It's minus all those limitations. And if I may show you a little bit of a picture to kind of help you understand. All right, so I hope you're seeing it the right way in here, because I'm seeing it backwards in here. So really, the blue part here depicts your body, the physical body. Well, within the body is our soul. It's the inner part here, okay? And then what extends outside of our body is really our higher self, or our spiritual self, and to which we have a connection, okay, that we communicate with. That's our intuition. That's where our intuition comes from. It's from our higher self, which the higher self knows everything. And it's really through our hearts that we connect to our higher self. Okay. And then these dark spots here are basically the unresolved pain that we carry within our soul. It kind of acts as clutter to our soul. And the unresolved pain is basically the experiences that we've had that we haven't fully digested. We haven't fully, transmuted the pain of it. Okay. So they kind of still carry it with us. And so they're, act as clutter to our soul. So if you imagine your soul being kind of a house, okay. And then if you ever seen a hoarder, they have a ton of stuff in the house. It causes clutter, right? Well, that's what these unresolved experiences cause within our soul. It's caused clutter, which causes us to not have very good communication with our higher self, because we're receiving messages from these little unresolved experiences. And those are usually the negative chatter in our pattern, in our back, okay? The part that doubts you. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you have, gotten hurt over here before. Don't go there again. Don't do that. Worries. Oh, you're going to be broke. You've been broke all your life. What do you think, right? That's the kind of stuff that these unresolved experiences, the chatter, the pattern back here. And that's what gives you a difficult time in meditating, by the way, because that's what's constantly back there, right? And while, there's also messages coming from your higher self, that are empowering, that are like, yes, go do that, you'll be awesome and all that stuff. Well, if you have enough of this other chatter, it's going to overpower, right? Oh no, you're not that good. Okay, don't believe that. Okay, you can't do that, right? So you get messages from all sides, but then it's very difficult to listen to your higher self when you got all this other clutter giving you messages too, telling you, oh no, you can't do that, right? You're not good enough. You've gotten hurt there before. You can't go out there and speak in public. That's not possible. You're going to fuck it up. So that's basically what's going on. And so the true self, okay, when we talk about aligning with your soul and your true self, we're talking about really transmuting all of these unresolved experiences, okay, properly transmuting them from pain into wisdom for the soul. And when you have that going on, then what happens is you're aligning more closer with being able to hear that higher self of yours, so that it gives you more clarity in terms of the message, right? From your higher self, the part that says, yes, absolutely, you can do it. You are a powerful soul. You are meant to, be a public speaker and do great things in the world. Absolutely, get out there and do that. And so, that becomes much more clear. By the way, your fear also comes from these unresolved little things, okay? And so that kind of overpowers everything else, right? So, so when we're talking about the true self, is really your essence. It's really your source. It's really the stuff that's made of your higher self, the connection to your higher self. That's the pure soul, without all that clutter, without all that unresolved stuff. All this is causing you limiting beliefs, and it's causing the prison within your soul that you boxed yourself into. Okay, so I hope that helps in terms of really identifying what your true self actually is. And so when we're talking about our true essence and really connecting with that, we're talking about where your inner power is, right? Where your creativity is, where you're creating your life from, where your basically abundance is, and pure love, right? And your inner guidance, your inner compass is in your higher self, in your spiritual self, right? And it's the part of you that's considered the true north, right? That knows where it's going. Where all this other clutter that I showed you, all those different messages are, basically they're confusing the whole thing. They're confusing the actuality of who you actually are. And so, some of the signs, of being disconnected from ourselves, which is what happens sometimes through trauma, through living life and trauma. And I'm considering trauma to be all kinds of stuff. It's basically pain. And some of it may be extensive. Some of it may not be as extensive. I'm talking emotional, mental, physical. I bunch it all in one clump into trauma, whether it's a rejection or, you lost someone dear to you, or you were in a major car wreck and lost limbs. It's all trauma. And as we live life, we experience trauma. It's very normal. It's very natural. Okay. But sometimes that pain of it is so intense that we just can't deal with it in the moment. And so we have a tendency to shove it. And when we shove it, what happens is that we actually create this unresolved experience within ourselves. That's that black spot I showed you in the picture. And that has an impact on us then through our daily lives in the form of the negative chatter, right? Oh, you're not worth it. You can't do that. You've gotten hurt there before, right? You can't go skiing. You broke your leg last time you went skiing. So, all of that stuff, then impacts us. And then we actually create, our life based on or from these unresolved experiences, which means we're repeating things, okay? Because what happens is on a soul level, the soul cannot learn from, unresolved experiences, much like, your body can't get the nutrition from broccoli you haven't fully digested, okay? That's sitting in your stomach whole, right? We have to digest it first, and then we can actually learn from it. And that's how the soul works too. So how does that relate to your twin flame and connecting with your twin flame? Well, those unresolved experiences back here, okay, all that clutter stuff, that's what causes the twin flame to run, okay? Because it all comes from fear, right? They run because they're afraid of something you couldn't see. When you're triggering, okay, something with your twin flame, or they're triggering something with you, they're triggering one of these unresolved experiences. And that unresolved experience has stuck emotions in it from whenever you experienced whatever. And so when you're actually connecting to that, you actually are you're actually moving through those emotions. You're actually re-experiencing them. It's kind of like a wave comes over you of these emotions. Now you're relating it to the present time moment, but the reality is you're actually re-experiencing this, okay? And so when a twin flame runs, they're connecting to one of these things. They're causing them fear, okay? It could be from past life. It could be from this life. It could be from anywhere. And so as they connect with that fear, they run. It's the same thing why you're chasing them, or why twin flames chase each other, okay? Because they have a need, okay? Where do needs come from? They come from these unresolved experiences. Oh, you may have a need to, control your environment, right? Control comes from a place of need because you've gotten hurt before, okay? Or you have a need for your twin flame not to get hurt because you know what? You've lost them before, and now you're anticipating the loss when you're riding one of these, and you know what? You're afraid to lose them, and all of a sudden you have a need going on. And so you may chase them, you want to try to rescue them, or whatever the case may be. Or you chase them because you need love. You're lacking love for yourself, right? Why are you lacking love for yourself? Because you're disconnected from your love, okay? And so you're chasing your twin flame, but really you're wanting to connect with you, right? Because guess what? Your twin flame is you, right? So it's all very interesting, isn't it? So that's why the connection with our true self is so important, because while we may be chasing our twin flame to connect with their love, we're really seeking our own love and our own connection to our true self. So how do you know that you are actually disconnected from yourself? Well, there's a good indicator. One is you feel lonely, okay? Generally speaking, we feel lonely when we're disconnected from ourselves. It's not because, loneliness has nothing to do with how many people you're with or around you and so forth. We can feel lonely with, people around us. And at the same time, we can be completely whole and not feel lonely when we have nobody around, okay? It has a direct correlation to do with how connected you are to your own source, yourself, okay? And so one of the big indicators of being disconnected is feeling lonely. Another indicator of being disconnected is also when you're living a lot in fear, okay? Everything's about fear when you're disconnected from your source, all right? And also you're feeling perhaps a bit lost. You don't have that inner guidance. And sometimes there's also a lack of clarity for us there. We're kind of confused. We have lack of clarity. That's also a sign of being disconnected, You're not sure what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing here on earth, and so forth. You don't have that inner sort of guidance. Those are just a few little indicators. There's other ones that, you can, signs of basically feeling disconnected. And so, yeah. And so, why we disconnect from ourselves, as I mentioned, is because of trauma. Okay, it just happens through the course of life. As we experience pain, we tend to disconnect from ourselves. And so like in my case with my twin flame, he really helped me connect with myself, as I read in the poem. And, it was a beautiful thing. And, afterward, I totally didn't feel alone anymore as I used to before I actually wrote that poem, before I had that connection to myself. It's a beautiful thing to be really connected with yourself. And if you are disconnected from yourself at this time, I can tell you that you can connect with yourself. And, so how do we go about connecting back with ourselves? Where one, our twin flame is trying to help us do that, right? But it also helps if we embark on a sort of a healing journey for ourselves. Because I find that through healing, it helps us reconnect with ourselves. Because, like, for example, when I do healings with people, okay, what I help you do is I help you transmute these little unresolved experiences, and so that they go away, okay? But in essence, they don't actually go away. You transmute them, so you transform, the pain into wisdom for yourself. And when you transform that, then basically they no longer exist in the form of pain, but rather in the form of wisdom. So, like, it's like the broccoli that you digest. It's no longer in the form of broccoli. It's now become nutrition to the soul. It's something different. Okay. And so no longer does your survival mechanism recognize this as pain. So no longer do you have the signals of the survival mechanism that come to you in the form of fear, in the form of worry, or in the form of stress. All right. So all of a sudden, you don't have that anymore. So now you have the connection to your higher self is much easier. All right. Now you can hear your higher self much easier. You can be connected to it much easier, because all of these little unresolved experiences all aid in disconnecting you from yourself. Okay. And the closer you are to yourself, all right, the closer you come back to yourself, the closer you also are to your twin flame. Because remember, your twin flame is yourself, okay? So because these little unresolved experiences also at the same time, while they're keeping you from, disconnecting you from yourself, they're also disconnecting you from your twin flame, all right? So they're the stuff that's basically the blocks in your road. There are the stones in the road that are blocking you from experiencing or coming close to your twin flame. They're the reason why your twin flame is running off. They're the reason why your twin flame perhaps isn't talking to you, or many other things. And so yes, and ultimately it is about you. It is about you connecting with yourself. It is about you, aligning with your soul, aligning with your true self. Because when you create from there, you create, your divine destiny. You can follow your soul purpose. You can connect with that. You can then hear it. You can, then live it. And it's the difference between happiness and not. It's the difference between love and fear. It's the difference between, being close to twin flame or not, and being connected to yourself or not. So I hope this helps in understanding how to connect with your true love, and understanding that your true love is really you, your spirit, and your twin flame is you. Remember that. And it's very symbolic in the physical world as well, in terms of who you are. I actually, what I did is I wrote the poem, and then I send it to my twin flame. I had my twin flame read it. Okay. And what he said to me goes, "Oh, you got to read it. I read it like 5 times. And you know what it says? It says you actually do love me." I was like blown away by the comment, because it was really about me, right? But he took it that I was talking about him, which he is really me. So it's like so symbolic in that sense. And so fabulous. The synchronicity with twin flames, always about who's who, who's what, right? But anyway, so I hope you have yourself a wonderful 4th of July. And by the way, all of this stuff that I'm teaching you here is, applies to anybody. You don't have to be a twin flame in order to really gain perspective and gain understanding, or get a healing, or connect with yourself, because all of us suffer from a certain degree of disconnecting from ourselves. And all of us have experienced life, I'm sure, unless you're, somewhere in some castle being all protected from life. But, we all experience pain. And so we all just experience being disconnected from ourselves. And it's really all about connecting with yourself. and experiencing a beautiful life in full expression of who you actually are. So I wish you all the best. And again, if you want some help in your journey, in your soul journey, in your twin flame journey, I am a spiritual healer. I've been doing this for 13 plus years. I've been a spiritual healer in other lifetimes. I totally understand how the soul works. And I can definitely help you with some of the healing to help you, declutter your soul, if you will, detoxify your soul, whatever you want to call it, and really find your true self, your purpose, and live your divine destiny. So if you'd like some help, just connect with me through my website at thespiritualhealer.info. And otherwise, have yourself a wonderful 4th of July, and celebrate the freedom, but true freedom, okay? True freedom comes really from within your soul. It's about decluttering your soul. That was what is true freedom about. And when we have true freedom within ourselves, then that's what we're going to manifest. Because remember, we create our reality from within our vibration. And in our vibration are all the unresolved things as well. And we create with them. Or when they're not there, we create with our higher self, with our power. So anyway, just want to mention it. I wish you a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time.